With almost 20 years of experience in the beauty industry, Gregg Giannillo is undoubtedly one of the most influential entrepreneurs in the beauty business today. He has coiffed the manes of countless celebrities like Vanessa Williams, Lara Spencer, Raquel Zimmerman, Beyoncé, Kathie Gifford, Olivia Palermo, just to name a few. He's been a staple on every major red carpet: the Oscars, Grammys, CFDA Fashion Awards, Emmys, People's Choice, Golden Globes, SAG Awards, plus blockbuster movie premieres, press junkets, and more. The incomparable precision of Gregg Giannillo's haircuts have attained a cult-like following. Recognized as a true expert in his field, Giannillo has served as beauty expert on the nationally syndicated television show Better for over 5 years and has lent his expertise to ABC's Good Morning America, Alloy TV, OK TV, and Beauty Boss in numerous makeover and how-to segments.
Hey, I know you for several years now, and I know you at Good Morning America professionally, and I know you at your salon because I do that too. And
he's not only my friend, he's also a client.
I'm a client. Yeah. And look what I got in the background.
Oh, geez. Oh, wow. Thank you. Look at that.
Look at that. We'll talk about that later.
That is the stuff. I got it here too.
But your personality, I mean, not only transforming and helping people with their look if they're going through something, but just your personality and your way. And we were talking to Andrea, who does makeup. She said wonderful things about you. And I was saying, you know, a lot of times celebrities come in and they go to hair and makeup first, and you really see them when they're right out of the car or the taxi, whatever. And a lot of times you're there not only to do your work, but to listen, comfort them. Your personality is helping them. So
we have to get them ready. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not only ready, we have to get them ready to be prepared for whatever they're doing. And that sometimes means just shutting up. Sometimes that means reading the room and knowing when to say when and when enough is enough, and taking the reins on someone when, like anybody I work with, it's sort of like there's a lot of energy involved. Energy meaning like you have to be very perceptive. On top of talented and quick. You have to be very quick. You have to, you know, live television, you know, back in the day, I've been working with Lara Spencer for like 25 years. Jesus Christ. Almost 25 years.
Is that why you have all that gray?
Yeah. This is all her.
Hi, Lara. Love you.
She'd be the first to say it too. But anyway, I'm saying that there was a reason I was saying that, because I've been with her for a long time, and even as we're great friends, we're best friends. Like, we are part of each other. She helps decorate my home. We're like in it together. And there are times where, you know, like I don't cross the line of being friends. I'm her stylist, and I have to kind of ebb and flow with whatever she's doing, because I'm an integral part of her getting in front of that camera. It's different. You know what I mean? Like, I try to explain this to my friends that are hairstylists and what have you, and they get caught up in the celebrity. They get caught up in the I don't know, the lights, the camera action, all this stuff. And yes, that's great. I'm very lucky. We're all very lucky to do this. But there's a very different element to hairstyling or makeup in Andrew's case, where like you have to have an extra like sense, an extra perception that really I didn't know I had. I just kind of fell into this. This wasn't what I was this wasn't a career goal. And I'm grateful that I got here. But to be honest, like, there's so much to take in and do. You got to know when to shut up. You got to know when you have to move faster. It's a whole, like, when the train leaves the station, that's it. Oh, I know what I was saying off my tangent. I've been working with her a long time. Back in the day, when we were working before Good Morning America, we were working in Entertainment Tonight, and specifically The Insider. And when I worked with her there, she used to say all the time, my goal is to be an anchor on Good Morning America.
Wow.
Well, let's find you another. I had no interest in getting up this early. I had zero interest in being a hairstylist for live television,
Mm.
that is like wedding day every day.
Every day. Yes.
And like I try to explain it to people, like they're like, I don't know how you do what you do, and they're talking about getting up that early. Like that's half of it. That's just the beginning. Getting up is easy. You gotta. Somebody's stuck in a car. The first day she was back after COVID, they took her to Teterboro Airport. I heard in my own life. They took Teterboro Airport. See, TV stuff. They went to Teterboro Airport, and she didn't show up till 20 minutes before her hit on live hit on Good Morning America. And it was Brooke and I at the time. And Brooke is like, "What do we do? What do we do? What do we do?" I feel like I'm always talking a makeup artist off the ledge. That's part of my job description. I'm the makeup artist now because I know there's a lot of wonderful things, but what she is very, very focused and talented, and she could go 3, 2, 1, boom, and she's present. I know that. Yep. So that's something, that's a luxury I have because that makes it easier to work with her. I don't ever get pressured that I'm not going to be done in time. I know that we could be right up to the last minute. And Eddie, you've seen it. Running down with a curling iron or a hairspray or something at the like hot tool. But it's really different when working like Brooke. I think at this time she had been seasoned with Lara already, but she's used to working with George. And George is very methodical, and George is very like here, there, and you know where he's going to be and where he's going to go and what he's going to do. Mm-hmm. We all do, actually. My career soared in this direction solely because of her. She literally took me with her. We grew up together. She was a field reporter on Eyewitness News when we met.
I know it.
Yeah. And it's just been a great ride. It really has been a great ride. It's you know, I'm human, and I can't say like getting up in the middle of the night sometimes is easy. It's not. It really isn't. Sometimes getting up in the middle of the night and then freezing cold, and like I'll ask Alexa, I'm not going to even ask her because she's going to come up. Don't you hate that when the commercial comes on and all of a sudden they say that everything goes off? But I was like, oh, it's 18 degrees. Last week, 18 degrees on Tuesday, 17 degrees on Wednesday. I wanted to like bang my head against the wall. But I get into the studio, Eddie's there already. He's already there. Like, get there, and it's like a beehive. You know, like that's how I explain what it's like for our world, is like you get in quiet and dark and maybe less traffic. You got the people coming home from wherever they're coming kind of thing on the streets. But once you get into the studio, right behind those big doors, before you get into the big elevator, it's a beehive. Everybody's got a place to be and something to do, and they're going and going and going, and the energy starts. We are working with the top of the line of everybody that we're there with. Right. You know, I feel like, wow, I look around and what we do, what we accomplish every day together as a unit is really, really amazing. A few years ago, before COVID, Eddie, you remember when we had the audience upstairs, the full audience. Sure. One of my clients was there that I didn't expect to see there. And it was literally, I think it was you counting down, you know, like 30 seconds, 45, whatever. And they were like, oh my God, he's not gonna get to, like, they didn't, like, it's choreography. Like, I know how long I don't know, but I know how long it's gonna take me to get from that desk where I am through to the back. And it's gonna be before he says one, you know?
Exactly.
We take these things for granted, but that's really freaking cool. That's cool.
Well, so Greg, the people who are watching all these interviews that we're doing, besides all the fun, because we're sharing so many great stories, is this question of most people are either doing some sort of television interviews. So a lot of them are like subject experts. So I speak a lot on, job hiring and training and workforce development, that kind of thing. But everybody wants some more. And so what we're trying to bring is this sense of how do you show up the best way you can on television? And it's great if you can, if you're going to a studio where somebody will actually touch up your hair. Most of us have to do it all on our own.
Yeah.
Do you have any, tips, any advice for people to make sure that their hair, their facial hair, their hair on their head, that they look the best they can when they are responsible for making themselves look that great?
Less is more. Really don't overthink it. Less is more. Oftentimes, and I've learned the hard way, is that when you try to overdo stuff and you run out of time and you can't finish it, or you can't complete it to the end result where it actually looks like you actually spent that much time, you made it worse. This is God's honest truth answer to that. And that's me doing it. I know this is different for somebody else doing it, but if, let's say, you or anyone had a hit and they had to do it themselves, right? Think about it. I have sent so many people, celebrities, anchors, with only this done, the front. I skip the whole back. I take the neck and take this. Anything that's visual. You have to remember, this is a 30-second hit or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a stand-up or now this isn't for like big shoots and commercials and things like that, but we're talking like for a day-to-day, like even like live everyday news, local news and things. Like you have to take into consideration where your subject is going to be looking. So I'll focus on the right side if they're looking camera left, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
I that's all kind of like automatic, but I'll skip things and I'll only hit. There's been times where people like get stuck in traffic. They're late, just that's who they are. They're late people. And you just got to hit think about what's going to be seen and screw everything else. Like think about teasing on hair.
Right.
You don't see that, right?
Right.
You can't do that. It's teasing. So I kind of pretend everything that's not seen is teasing, and you just kind of fix it, make it presentable. Another way is similarly is like the top layer of hair. Just really concentrate on the top layer. Like even if it's the front and it's visible, all you got to do is kind of get the top layer of all the hair that's there to kind of be pretty. The underneath is not as, like, for instance, on you, just what you literally, the surface that you see. If you focus on the surface, just like a flyaway would stick out and stand out, the opposite is so. That you just get it all fine-tuned and cleaned up, you're good to go.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Absolutely. And I, as you were talking to, I was thinking about how this is just random. This isn't about hair, but about, only do what you can do in the time you can do it. The only time I ever think about putting on fake eyelashes, which I should never do because I cannot do them myself, is like, oh, today I'm going to do a live shot with 6 ABC News. So I'm going to put on my fake eyelashes, which I decide I'm going to start 30 minutes before the interview. That's not the time to do it.
Quit while you're ahead.
Exactly. Just put on more mascara.
Like before, speak like this. The first TV job I had with Lara, for instance, was Antiques Roadshow. And she didn't tell me until after I got the job that she already told the powers that be that I'm also a makeup artist, which I am not. That's the only way I got the gig. She didn't tell me that until I literally showed up at the first location. We pulled up together off the plane in another state by the way, I told them you could do makeup, so you're gonna have to do all the guests while you do my hair. It's the only way I could get this to work. I was like, I've never done makeup in my life until then, and everybody looked like Miss Piggy. They all had these big. To this day, we joke about it. Everybody looked like Miss Piggy. They had big blush like this. I couldn't do the eye. The shadow was heavy, and then the big blush. It was shadow and blush. That's all there was. I didn't do the hair. I was doing the makeup for the guests. Somebody else did the hair. I was doing her hair and running back. It was,
wow.
You know what it was? Probably the best experience I ever had. And a lot of everything I do right now, everything that I know right now is literally because of her. I have not been able to, I would have not been able to do what I do at this, in this capacity, on this level without her. And she knows that. Like we're really very, very close. And I get her, she gets me, and we could joke all day long.
So what made you get into this as a career?
Oh my God. I had no intention on being a hairstylist whatsoever. I was doing hair. I gave my first haircut when I was 10 years old. I'm going to try and make this as short as possible because I could talk forever. But I gave my first haircut when I was 10 years old. Prior to that, I was 1978, 5 years old. I was going in to get my own haircut, and I would ask the hair cutter why are you holding it this way? Why are you doing that? Why do you comb this way? Why do you hold it that? And they never had an answer for me. It drove me nuts. It drove me nuts. I'm not kidding. I was 5 years old. Here's why I know. I used to go in and ask with a picture at 5. There was a movie in 1978 called Going Coconuts with Donnie and Marie.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go in with Donnie Osmond's. You're welcome, by the way.
I love this.
Okay. I would go, you're going to love, wait till I tell them. I would go in asking for Donnie Osmond's haircut and never got it. I never got what I wanted. It drove me crazy. I would send at the time, this was, moving forward in the 80s, there was like a graduated bob was in style. And I told my mom what she should get. Go in and get this haircut. You need to have this haircut. And she'd always come back with something else. She goes, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm taking you with me. So she brought me. Oh, sorry. She brought me with her to tell the hairstylist how to cut her hair. But I was always involved in hair. I in high school, I was doing all my friends. I would blow out my mom, my sister's hair all the time. And then when I was in college, for graphic design, I was a graphic design major. I was in college and I was in a party, and there was a friend of mine that I went with that all his friends were hairstylists. And I never realized that I was constantly wanting to be with these people. I couldn't get enough of hanging out with them. Until one night, this woman, her name is Stacy Hirsch. I will never forget it, because she stopped me because you see, I keep talking. He stopped me and said, Greg. I was, what? You know you're a hairstylist, right? I was like, you know you're a hair. Then she literally put arms. You're a hairstylist. You do get that, right? And I was like, oh my God. I was practically almost doing backflips, and it clicked. Immediately, I started talking to my parents about doing it. I was met with some, resistance about it because I had a scholarship, and I didn't care. I knew what I was doing. Everything after that happened sort of by accident. Like things, too much to tell. But this part, remember I said I was working on Entertainment Tonight Insider. Well, back in 2006, 2007. It was Lara and Pat O'Brien. Pat O'Brien left the show, and who took his place? Donnie Osmond.
I was just going to say, if you tell me Donnie Osmond, I'm going to go, that is what a full circle moment.
It was such a full circle moment that he cried. I'm not even kidding. Like I told him the story, and every time, like I went, he would go every time. He would be like, "Greg, tell them the story. Tell them the story." He's like, he went from wanting my look to giving me my look every day.
Wow.
Because I was like, it was incredible. So yeah, I love what I do. I'm very blessed, but I'll always be grateful and I'll always have gratitude.
Oh, that story just gives me chills. I mean,
it does for me too. I'm like trying not to get emotional because it was a very emotional thing for me to all of a sudden, like I don't know, it was 1970. He told me exactly when it was. That's the only reason I know what it was. He's like, I did that movie in 1978. I was like, it couldn't be. I was born in 73. He's like, well, you were 5.
wow.
I was 5. Bring.
And I want to know though, when your mom took you to the salon to tell the person how to do her hair, what kind of response did you get from that hairstylist? Like, what?
Attitude. It was really just like, are you kidding? She didn't say it, but she's like, seriously? Like, she's like, Greg, explain to her what you want me to have. And then I was like 12, maybe 13, and here I am telling this hairdresser how to cut my mom's hair. I didn't care. I was happy to do it, but she didn't. She cared.
That's awesome. It's funny. I grew up. One of my sisters was a hairstylist, and she's retired now. But so I was like her guinea pig, and so everything she wanted to do, she would try out on me, which was great. I mean, I had a lot of fun. The inverted bobs and different levels and all those things. But one time when she was dyeing my hair, and I don't know what we were doing, but it ended up almost purple. And that was at a point where I didn't have colorful hair. And I remember just crying, just like my eyes just like bursting, thinking, this is not what I want. And my sister's like, we're going to fix this right now. And she sounded it. And so now, here we are, however many decades later. And she's like, huh, maybe you should have just tried it then.
Look at you now.
Exactly.
She probably takes credit for it, and well, she should. It's like, I introduced you to this different look of color.
Oh, I love it. I think your story is beautiful. It's been really fun to ask everybody from camera operators to audio people to, people behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, about what got them into this aspect of their jobs and their careers, because I think it tells so much about the passion of what you do, not just because you're a stylist, but because of how seriously you take it, and why then that has led you to the success that you've had, working with celebrities and working on Good Morning America and working with Lara over time. It falls into place. It makes a lot of sense that you've had this success.
And we're talking right now about Good Morning America live TV.
Yeah.
But you finish. And that's not the end of your day. Then you go uptown, East Side, New York City, to your salon. Tell us about that. And then you also create products. And here's one of your products.
Hey, thank you.
And I've been to your salon, and you did my hair, and I have your stuff, your product in there. So tell us about that too, because you just keep on going.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, it's sort of like a labor of love in one regard. I mean, it's been very difficult after COVID. I was laid off from GMA for 7 months, I think, and people were at home, as we all know, and people weren't coming. The salon itself was closed, but I just, how do I put it? I'm trying to think more clearly about. I go there, and it's almost like I shift gears. Let's put it that way. I shift gears. I have my morning job, my morning show, goggles on, and then I change hats and goggles, and I go to this other place. I look more like this there, and at work in the morning, Eddie see me, I could look like a bum sometimes, to be honest. I mean, lucky I get out of the house with a hat on. But yeah, it's completely different. I do support both lifestyles, but to go back to the point of the product line, when I opened in 2009, and I was always a stylist in other salons, and I never was a salon owner. When I spoke to distributors about I like this hairspray from this collection and that hair gel from that one. They wouldn't sell it to me. They wanted to sell me the entire line. They wouldn't give me one hairspray. And I have a small boutique salon here in 60th, and I just couldn't, I couldn't afford it, but also I didn't have such a I'm not a great salesman. I'm really not a great salesman. I'm really not. It's just not it's not my wheelhouse. And I shouldn't have a product line if I'm not a great salesman, but I have figured out, being forced to figure out that if I was not going to be able to pick and choose what I wanted from other collections that existed, I was going to create my own. So that's Boudoir Hair by Giannillo, which is my very long name for my hair product collection. And it's all of them are hand selected by me, and each ingredient and everything that goes into it, I'm aware of and I am part of, and they've been tested on clients in the salon as well as on Lara and anybody else. I knew I had a great product when I would use it on Lara, didn't tell her, and she'd come in the next day and she'd go, "What the hell did you put in my hair yesterday?"
Yeah.
It didn't move. It was like she played 2 matches of tennis and her hair still stayed in. I knew I had a solid product. You know what I mean? Like that's when the experimentation went. It's done. All right, good. Sign. Move on. Next one. But yeah, I love my clientele. My clientele is my heart. I have to say, I think the driving force of everything that I do is immediate gratification. I love the fact that I can work on somebody and right away, within an hour or less, I see how happy they are, and they see how transformed they are, and I love that. That's my driving force. So the salon itself, I opened in an interim period where I was not working in TV, and I started back with Lara again, and it's been a challenge. It's really a challenging position to be in. Like he said, I go from one to the other, and I try to have a life where I can maybe make it to the gym in between, and whatever else I have to do with an accountant or this or that or an order and here and there. And especially with COVID, I've had to hire a lot of different hairstylists that have. I feel like I'm Julie McCoy, the ship cruise director, because I'm like trying to like Rubik's Cube 8 chairs among 15 people, and trying to make sure everybody's there at a different time so that I don't have 15 people with only 8 chairs. And I need that many people to stay afloat, but I also need to have enough supplies for them, enough hands on deck. You know what, it is a lot.
Gregg, thank you so much. I love your stories. I love your kind of origin story. I love your energy. And I think what you've really done is, it is reminded us all that no matter how much we do, we can all keep some humility and keep some fun. Yeah. And we can all look put together as long as we make sure to get whatever's showing
just
to be in order.
Only get the bare minimums. Don't overthink it, really. Exactly. Not when you have 20 minutes to do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I really am grateful. Very, very much so, because this was an experience that I didn't even expect or anticipate to have. It warms my heart in a lot of ways, because first of all, I'm honored that you even want to hear anything that I have to say, but I'm thankful because you're reminding me of where I am, and I'd love to be a part of whoever is out there thinking about getting into certain areas that we all paved. So thank you for letting me be a part of that.